Greetings, fellow pilgrims. I'm Doug. This is Camino 2020, and today I want to talk to you about one of the very most important parts of your Camino kit, the backpack. One of the first things that a lot of people preparing for the Camino think about is what kind of backpack they're going to bring. And that is wise because it's a very important part of your kit. Pretty much everything that you're not wearing or maybe carrying in your hands is going to be in your backpack. So if this thing fails, you could end up in a world of hurt. I would recommend holding off on your backpack purchase until you have a pretty solid idea of what all you're going to be bringing, because you're going to want to make sure that the backpack works in your system. Everything has to work together. You can't just get a bunch of independently functioning things and then hope that it all just magically comes together. There may be features of a backpack that you really like, but when it comes time to actually start packing, you're going to realize, oh, I don't really have a pocket for this, or I've got extra pockets that I don't need. This is not really a gear review video. This is more about just showing you what is out there, giving you some ideas for the things you might want to consider when you're out looking for a backpack. I will tell you what these models are. Some of them are probably not going to be listed on the manufacturer's website anymore because, for marketing purposes, backpacks are constantly being upgraded and the names are being changed. All of these manufacturers are solid. They still exist. They have something in their catalog that's going to match one of these if this is what you're looking for. So I will put the links to these manufacturers in the description. If I happen to find the exact backpack or one pretty close to it, I'll link to that. Alright, so let us begin with my day pack. This is the Deuter Act Trail 24. You want to pay attention to the numbers on the backpacks because often they are going to indicate the total volume of the pack. Alright, you'll sometimes see a cubic inch rating. I typically think in liters, but if you tell me that this backpack has 100 liters. I picture like 50 2-liter bottles, and it seems like the size of a car. I am not super good at figuring out how much storage something is without actually seeing it. So that's why I'm going to give you the volumes of these. So this is a 24-liter pack. It's a day pack. This particular one has been with me on more hikes than I can count. I absolutely love it. But for the Camino, it's simply too small. The difficulty with the Camino is that there is just a certain number of items you're going to want to carry, and if you have something this small, a lot of it is going to end up strapped to the outside. That's not an efficient way to carry. It's not a good way to carry. You don't want things rattling around, throwing the weight of the pack off, banging against you, banging against itself. You want everything to have its own proper storage place, and for the amount of things that the typical person brings on the Camino, a small day pack like this is simply too small. So let's talk about this big boy right here. This is the Low Alpine Contour 4, and this is my backpacking backpack. It comes in at a whopping 105 liters. It is a monster. It's like almost 5 of these put together. Now, it's a great pack. It's got a great suspension system. The harness is very thickly padded. I mean, literally every part of it. Look at this thing on the waist. There's like an entire pillow here. The hip belt is ginormous. And it is completely adjustable, so you can change the torso length. This pack is meant to carry a ton of stuff. This might be seen as like an expedition backpack. Okay, if you're going to be traveling with a week's worth of food, a week's worth of water, clothes, medical, tent, big sleeping bag, this will do the trick. Okay, you can get more than enough stuff in here, and this is just simply not something you're going to need on the Camino. The price you pay for a pack of this size is in weight. Just to give you an idea, my little Deuter here is 46 ounces. It's almost 3 pounds by itself. It's not a lightweight pack. The Low Alpine is 6.4 pounds. It's 103 ounces. It's 6.5 pounds just in the pack. You haven't even put anything in the pack yet. Again, this is a big, big pack. And you're just not going to need something like this for the Camino. Although you are backpacking, and although you are traveling a very long distance, The Camino is not really a through hike in the traditional sense of the term, where you put everything you're going to live on and with on your back and go out for days and days and days, possibly weeks in a row before you hit a town and you can resupply. So you're carrying your shelter, a tent, the tent poles, the tent stakes, the tent footprint, sleeping bag or quilt, a sleeping pad. You're going to be carrying a lot of food and a lot of water. If you cook on the trail, you're going to be carrying a stove. You're going to be carrying fuel for the stove. You're going to be carrying a bottle that the fuel goes in. You're going to be carrying a lighter. And you're going to be carrying the pot that you cook in. So the nice thing about the Camino is that it's really more of a linked series of day hikes between towns. You're going to spend each night in a nice albergue or a not so nice albergue. You're going to have a bed to sleep on. And although you do need to bring something of a sleep system, you're going to be indoors with a bunch of other people breathing. It's going to be warm enough that you don't need the heavy-duty sleeping bag. You're not going to need to cook because you're going to eat in town. You're probably going to carry some snacks around, but you're not going day after day after day after day with just what's on your back. There's just not as much stuff that you need to bring, and you're going to be able probably to do laundry just about any night that you want to, so you don't even really need that many clothes. That brings us to my third pack. This is the Osprey Exos 38. This pack comes in at 41 ounces. This is 2.5 pounds. This is 3. Now, this is the large size pack, and even though they're all called Exos 38, you actually gain a couple of liters every time you go up a size. So this pack is actually a little over 40 liters. This one's 24, and yet this pack weighs less than this pack. This does not put Osprey in the elite, ultra lightweight category like something from Z-Packs, but for an off-the-shelf, walk into REI, there it is hanging on the wall backpack, it is extremely light. Now, I'm going to go into more about this pack in another video, but for now, what I just wanted to point out is that this is about right. Somewhere in the 40-liter range can easily get you 2 changes of clothes, a rain jacket, extra pair of shoes, your hygiene kit, and a lot of the other little stuff that goes along with picking a backpack. So size-wise, I personally would shoot for something in the low 40 to high 30 liter range. I hope this video has helped you in your planning for your Camino. The backpack is a very important part of your kit. I would strongly recommend holding off purchasing your backpack until you are pretty sure you know exactly what's going to go in it. It's not a bad idea to just go ahead and load up your stuff and just bring it to the store with you. Actually pack it right there in the store. You want to see, what does this feel like when I actually have my stuff on? Where the pockets are, exactly where you're going to put your stuff. That is all going to change the system. That's all going to affect how it rides, how it feels when it's on. When you've purchased your pack, go home and pack that thing. Get it as close to real as you can and try it on before you go past the return date, because you definitely want to know if this is going to work for you, and you don't want to find out that it's not going to work when you're walking across Spain. If you've enjoyed this video, and I hope you have, please give it a like, subscribe to the channel, click that little bell so that you get notifications when more videos are posted, and I will see you next time. Buen Camino.